Batman was killed, or at least some people think that. The truth is, Batman was sent to a world without a Batman, a Gotham without Batman. A world without Batman is a terrifying place. Batman is starting to see how other individuals have turned into the way they are without Batman to change them, such as Selina or other individuals in this universe. The big villain here is Red Mask, and Batman is trying to figure out who the Red Mask is. But there's also a rich individual who may or may not be involved, known as Darwin Halliday. Batman has tracked down these individuals to the Arkham Caves, a new location for all of the Arkham patients, which includes, well, I don't want to spoil it, but this is the most epic part of our story. This is Comicstorian. I make audio dramas of your favorite comic books. Today we're going to be covering Batman 134 to 135, which I have dubbed Into the Batverse. You'll see why in a minute. Let's get into it. As Batman looks out on the vast network of tunnels and rooms, Selina asks, "Who are you? Who are you really?" Batman says that he is a man who knows what she is and who she can be. Go help people. He touches down onto the lower levels, and he sees several cells lined up with the people that he knows. One with Lex Luthor in it, another with Barry Allen. The Flash begs to be let out, but Batman knows that he can't. A Flash broken from reality could kill everyone in his city in the time it takes to draw a breath. He stares and takes it in. Red Mask calls out to him that it's really an honor to meet him, and Batman looks back, calling him by his actual name. "You're Darwin Halliday." Darwin laughs. "This part is over. The hiding. Playing the socially minded billionaire like you. But come, let me show you my true accomplishments." Darwin takes off his mask and Batman follows. "Everything is about the multiverse, isn't it?" Darwin looks at him. "Partly. Well, I spent my youth building up my pharmaceutical empire. I was always a chemist with a mind for numbers, a desire for more. But there are only so many mountains to climb. There is a hole inside of me, a chasm that couldn't be filled. Nobody understood. I pushed my people, so maybe it was sabotage. But one of the compounds that they were working on showed me something horrible, something beautiful. It was me, as I should be. The Joker! There are threads throughout the multiverse that connect us to different versions of ourselves. I saw who I was meant to be, elemental, uninhibited. I've seen the world through your eyes, and how everything just looks gray." Batman looks at him. "The Joker is insane, and so are you. All of these experiments, this terror, to what? To see through another madman's eyes? I've seen through his eyes many times. I've seen you, the eternal game with the Joker. No, these experiments are about more than that. They're about traveling sideways through the multiverse and backwards, so that I can see through those eyes at the moment of his inception, so that I can..." Batman interrupts him. "So you can become him, shatter your mind the way the Joker's was, to become him." "I'm tired of limitations! I'm tired of knowing I could be more. When you arrived, I thought it was a sign. I wanted to find you and see if your multiversal signature could help, but you left plenty of blood in the tower for me to examine." Darwin activates a force field, trapping Batman in it. "It helped somewhat to confirm your coordinates. But also, it's about sheer numbers. That's why I've brought so many into the caves. I needed all of the multiversal energy that I could get. And now, I have the perfect conduit to infect the most people. I just wish that we had more time." As Darwin escapes, the room that Batman is locked in begins to fill with Crane Brain. But Batman quickly places an explosive on the wall, detonating it, blowing out a hole and allowing him to turn off the machine. With the gas stopped, he runs through the tunnels, radioing to Jewel that Red Mask is going to infect the city with a poisonous gas. They don't have time to clear the city. Get as many people into the Athena Tower as possible. And Selina, if you're there, help Jewel. I know you don't want people to die. You're a good person. You're the best. But a voice stops him. "I've been told that I need to deal with a pest." Batman's eyes widen as this world's Ghostmaker stands before him, enhanced by Venom, already attacking him before he hardly has a chance to understand the situation. Batman dodges back, leaping out of the way of Ghostmaker. You're fast. Good. I need the challenge. As Batman is about to jump to another level, a sword is thrown through his shoulder, and Ghostmaker tells him, You're in such a rush. Don't you want to play with the infamous Ghostbreaker? It would be an honor to be killed by me. Batman begins to push the sword back out through his shoulder, and then he takes it, assuming a fighting stance. Ghostbreaker laughs. You know what you're doing. Batman deflects, and Ghostbreaker stops for a moment. Wait, you trained with Kurigai? Batman doesn't respond, keeping silent and attacking, realizing that he needs to keep Ghostbreaker off balance. That venom makes him stronger and faster. As Ghostbreaker tackles into him, throwing the two over the ledge, he struggles, asking, Who else have you trained with? Batman throws his grappling hook to catch himself, swinging it with a kick, telling him, The Shanghai Sky Spider. As he hits Ghostbreaker, throwing him off balance, he crashes into a pipe, causing him to let go and fall. It's been fun, but I wasn't really tasked with killing you, just keeping you from messing up my benefactor's plans. He has a special plan for you. Ghostbreaker presses a button and the cell doors open. Dozens of the patients come running out, one of them being Clark Kent, a rogue Superman. Batman stares, telling himself, I'm not Bruce Wayne to him. We're not friends. I'm Batman, and Batman has no fear. Batman begins to step forward, rolling his eyes, shouting, I walk as a man, but I am your nightmare! Clark begins to stumble over his words, and in a panic, he flies out of the facility. Leaving the rest of them behind, Batman begins to climb back out of the pit and into the sewers, running back into Ghostbreaker. The two men face off, and Batman resumes his fighting stance. We should do this one without blades, so we can really see what we're both made of. Ghostbreaker tosses his sword. I'm made of the very best, so let's see who else you've trained with. Fists and knees begin to fly as each lands several of their hits, but Batman already knows how Ghostmaker fights. He knows his moves and his openings. Batman spins around, wrapping himself around Ghostbreaker's back, delivering one hard-hitting punch to the side of his mask with enough power to crack the mask and send Ghostbreaker to the ground. Batman gets back up, holding his side as he reaches for the controls to stop the gas, but before he could, Ghostbreaker sits up, grabbing him by the cape. The switch is pulled, and then Ghostbreaker swings his sword, cutting off Batman's hand. Batman turns back, beginning to put all of his weight into the elbow, which he brings down on Ghostbreaker's face, and then the reality of his missing hand begins to set in. Meanwhile, outside, Jewel begins to help usher people to Athena, but also realizes that Darwin has more than just gas spreading throughout the city. He has man-bats, all equipped with gas-dispensing canisters. Jewel begins to fight back the man-bats to clear everyone's path, but as one turns its attention on her, she receives a bit of help in the form of a whip. Selina snaps the whip back around Man-Bat's neck, and she pulls it tight, stating, I'm not sure why this city has started to attract rodent men, but we really need an exterminator. Meanwhile, back below the streets, in the sewers, Arkham Caves, Batman makes his way to the medical wing of the facility in search of a tool to stabilize his injury. After repurposing some of Arkham's equipment, Batman manages to make a makeshift electrocauterizing tool to close the wound. After stopping the bleeding, he fashions 3 blades to the end of his arm. But while Batman is struggling through the pain to make his way into Darwin's building, Darwin himself gets ready to take the lunge to find the moment in time that he is looking for, so that he can see through the eyes of the Joker when he first existed. He sees Batman fighting his counterpart of the Red Hood, and he's scared. He was in pain, but that pain is exquisite. Something is off. It's like the Joker was looking back at Darwin Halliday. He rips off his mask, and Crimson catches him, asking him if it worked. Darwin tells her it did. He made it to the moment of creation, but Joker saw him. And most importantly, he is unchanged. He needs to go back. He needs to be fearless. Crimson prepares the machine again, and when it's ready, she lets him know. Darwin puts on his mask, stating that he was scared and the Joker is fearless. He is loved, admired, feared, but the Joker, he's beyond love and hate. He's obsession. He doesn't care what people think. He is his ID unleashed, his potential. As Darwin revisits the moment, he can see the Joker changing, but perhaps it wasn't just because of Batman. Perhaps it was because of his visit that broke the Joker. But if that's the case, Darwin yells, "No! I need something more! I need..." And the Joker says, "Need, need, need! We used to be so needy! But when it's all a joke, lay it out before you like strewn guts. There's only one need." Let that sink in! Let the joke of it all burst out for everyone to hear! You made us! Care for a fourth? Darwin throws the mask off again, and Crimson asks what happened. Darwin tells her that he can't. He can't become the Joker because he's the one who created the Joker. Just then, there's a murderous Thoom from outside, and Batman throws Croc in, telling Darwin that he's finished. Crimson charges in with her knife, shouting for him to stay away, but Batman hits her with the spikes on his arm and then lands a punch that knocks her to the ground. "I was wrong, Bruce. I can never become him. It's not what I was meant to be." Batman looks at him. "You already are him. You're a murderer and a psychopath. I just crossed worlds to stop you. Like I stop him." Batman attacks, and Darwin uses his speed powers to avoid and attack him back, telling him, "My job, Batman, is to make Jokers. With you. Hasn't that thought haunted you for all of these years? That if you didn't exist as Batman, the Joker wouldn't exist either." Batman charges in head first into Darwin's stomach, stabbing him with the pointed ears. "I stopped thinking that way years ago. You've shown me something. A world without Batman is still a world with monsters. You might not look like the Joker, but you're still evil. You're still a killer. You're still the Joker. And in any universe, I stop Jokers!" Just then, the door slams open again with Jules, Selina, and Alfred. But before Batman could even talk to them, Darwin makes a break for his machine, yelling, "No! I know what I have to do now! What I need to do!" Batman runs over to the machine that Darwin passed through and sees that it's filled with multiversal energy, but without knowing where to go. He can't go home, and he can't track Darwin. Selina ties Crimson up, stating good riddance. But Batman appeals to Crimson, stating that they need to know where his research was so that they can figure this out. She gives him the key code, he punches it in, and a secret room opens up with several items inside, one of them being a scanner. He could recalibrate it so that he could track down Darwin's signature. But Alfred walks up. "Surely, you're not going after him." "I need to get home first. Get what I need to stop him. Get myself back to 100%. Batman looks at his missing hand, trying to keep himself from going into shock. And he looks back at his reflection, thinking back to Failsafe. And if Zur-En-Arrh is infecting his brain still. Alfred puts his hand on Batman's shoulder. "You look so much like my Bruce. You give and never stop. But you have to stop, or the universe will do it for you. You don't need to do everything alone, my boy. I wish I'd said the same to my..." Batman stops him. "Come with me, Alfred. I can't. You're right. I can't do this alone, it's too much. I've lost my way and I've gotten trapped in the darkness, but together, we can fight the unending parade of monsters. We can help people. Together. I'm dead, aren't I? In your world. That's why you want me to join you. I would love nothing more than to join you, to help my son again, but you're not my Bruce, and I'm not your Alfred. I've spent too much time with my head in the sand here to simply leave. My Gotham needs help. It's time I did just that." Jewel says that if he's willing to call her Master Jewel, he could help her. Alfred laughs. "There I have it, on purpose." Batman takes a moment to respond, but hugs Alfred. "Thank you. No, thank you, son." Batman goes back to the terminal, and Selina asks what about her. Gonna ask if she'll go with him? "I already have a Selina. Am I like your Selina?" "My Selina is conflicted. What about you? Fighting crime from universe to universe, does it ever end?" "I fight crime where I'm needed. If crime ends, if injustice ends, so do I. The purpose is good. I could have a simple life, a wife, a family. But the emptiness inside of me would eat me alive. It's who I am. You've built an empire here. You like feeling safe. I won't make you feel that way." At that moment, Selina spins back, kicking Batman through the portal before he could finish his preparations, without his anchor back, leaving him with nothing but a tracker locked on to Darwin's trail. Moments later, he's thrown out into Gotham, but it's not his Gotham. He notices a sign that the Joker is back, and a voice asks if he has had anything to do with this. Batman looks back to see another version of himself. Batman looks at himself. Is the Joker dead? He was dead here? The alternate Batman says, here. Sorry, but you'll have to be more. But before he could get an answer, Batman is yanked back into the multiverse, thrown into another Gotham. He gets back up as a shadowy man walks forward laughing. It figures if I was brought back, so would you. It's a real treat for me after all. You got to kill me already, so now it's my turn. Joker lunges forward, revealing his fangs, tackling Batman to the ground. But before he could sink his teeth in, Batman is yanked into the multiverse again. He moves quickly from universe to universe, only to ones that have never had Jokers, suddenly existing, followed by the appearance of a man in a red mask. But these have all taken a turn. They're more evil, more wild, and as supernatural as he feared the Joker could become. And in universes where the Joker died, he returned from his grave to just wreak havoc again. However, Batman stops and he runs into a version of himself who did go too far. The Batman of the Arkham universe looks at our Batman from Prime Earth. That itch, that voice that says to let him die, to let his madness disappear under dirt and worms. But even with him gone, you've still got it in your head. You have to exorcise him. My identity is public. My life is over. And for what? To see the Joker crawl back out of his grave to terrorize the city again? If you can stop this, if you can put him back in the ground where he belongs, do it. For all our sakes. But again, Batman is yanked through the multiverse when he's pulled up by someone. He finds himself being picked up by somebody also wearing a bat suit, a futuristic suit, a suit from beyond. And a much older man steps forward with a cane. Hello, Bruce. Looks like you're having a problem with the multiverse. And a man named Red Mask, a sane Joker. The older Bruce looks back at the computer and says that he's been jumping in and out of universes and across time, using his multiversal energy and creating Jokers wherever he goes. They've been tracking the energy as he moved, and he made landfall here a day ago. Terry here has been scouring Gotham for signs of a new Joker. Batman looks back at the young man, and Terry removes his Batman Beyond mask. Guess there's no need for secret identities with another Batman. The older Bruce tells him that they can deal with the Joker here, but they simply can't leave their universe until it's finished. They can, however, help him from involuntarily jumping from world to world. They can recalibrate his scanner, but to get home, he can use this Holt disc to return to his natural universe. At that moment, there's an explosion and a revived Joker steps through. I'm here for Bruce! However, before Batman can assist, he's pulled back into the time stream and thrown through multiversal universes, ones that Darwin has tainted. He meets many versions of himself. Classic versions. Versions filled with gaslight. Versions from a kingdom come. Versions where there was a world of injustice. But at the end of the day, it was all the same. Until Batman finds himself in a world that is a bit more nostalgic. Almost like it's happening in the year 1966. The Batman of this universe manages to put down the revised Joker, calls our Batman chum, and tells him that he doesn't know much about the universe. But he does know one thing. Every Batman needs a utility belt to fight the darkness. And with that, Batman is leaping through the multiverse again. He ends up in a universe where Batman is older, where the Dark Knight is returned. In that universe, he's assisted by this old, grizzled Bruce to create a prosthetic hand, a robot arm, to replace his injury. He's also given a new uniform, one to help him get through everything with his new hand and his new utility belts. But eventually, Darwin and Batman, their chase comes to a conclusion as they have reached the end of the line. They have reached the end of the multiverse. As a giant Joker shark begins to chomp through a small patch of land that hardly exists, Batman says that he has enough energy to get home. To help. Darwin stops him. Maybe I can't be him, but I have just enough energy to do what the Joker could never do. Darwin sends a shark at Batman, and as he jumps on its back, the shark slams himself into a wall. Batman manages to grab onto the side of the wall to slow his fall, but as he looks down, he sees the shark's maw opening wide, just about to swallow him. He rummages through his utility belt for something to help, and he pulls something out laughing. Haha, finally. A Batman more prepared than myself, and he sprays the shark repellent. After being sprayed with the repellent, the Joker shark swims off, and Darwin says that he needs to try one more time to get into his head. Batman climbs back up, telling him that he could have been anything. A scientist, a scholar, a helper. He always wondered what the Joker would have become if he didn't become the Joker. if his existence created the evil inside of him, but he could see it now. It's always been inside of him. Without the madness of the Joker, he's just a more pathetic evil. Darwin lunges at Batman, shouting, "I'll kill you!" And Batman cracks him with a single punch. Darwin lays on the ground, and Batman looks at the disc that he was given. It can only bring one of them back to their original universe, and he can't leave Halliday here. But he can't send him home and stay here. Batman then sits down, trying to think of something. There's always a way, except maybe there isn't for once. Even before failsafe, Batman found himself slipping. He wasn't as fast, not as strong. The years were catching up to him. Batman wins. But now, he isn't sure what to do. He always knows what to do, but is Batman slipping? Has he finally failed? Is it Batman and the Joker at the end of time, the end of the multiverse? But at that moment, at that very moment, as a light that begins to shine, he looks back and he thinks, maybe Batman needs to be lifted up by his Robin. Tim Drake appears floating down. He asks, "Is it really you? Thank God, I've seen enough Batmen to last." Batman walks up, hugging Tim before he could finish. "Thank you for coming for me, for saving me." But as all things seemingly are ending well, Tim having a way to return home, the disc able to return Halliday, there's another voice in the back of Batman's mind. The voice of Zur-En-Arrh. "Looks like our trip is at an end. Time to fight some crime." And that concludes the Batman into the Batverse portion of this story. Awesome, amazing, I loved this. Chip Zdarsky is killing it on Batman. And if you want to know more of what's going on with this, I'm going to be covering it as it comes out. At the time of this video coming out, this is as much as we have. So make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that when 136 drops, we can bring it straight on over to you. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate it. And all week coming up, we're going to be covering a lot of Spider-Man stuff because there's a whole Spider-Man movie dropping. If you want to see more of Chip Zdarsky's Batman, I'll link you all chapters down below. You can check them all out. And if you want to see how we even got to this point, I'll link you some previous Batman storylines and some Tim Drake stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time right here at Comicstorian.